In this episode of Food Service Worker, we're going to be talking about drones and how drones affect the Department of Corrections. So, drones are nothing new to the world. However, it's becoming a crafty way that inmates can have certain things brought to the institution from the outside. So these inmates that are in the institution have phones that are not monitored because they were brought in by either a corrupt staff member, whether it's a CO or it's a civilian person who works in some area of the institution, mental health, food service, the chaplain, medical, or whatever else it may be in the institution. These drones are able to help these people in the institution, thanks to that. When you have a phone and you can call your peoples on the outside and have them know, hey man, can you bring the drone and bring the stuff, and then either that person who's going to fly the drone knows the facility or has some mapping of the facility, whether they're using Google Maps to like map out the area, right, of where they want their buddy on the outside to fly the drone and drop the contraband, is what we'll call it, somewhere around where they have somebody that's going to be able to get to that at a certain time. And that's basically how they do it, which is why now, unfortunately, it's not nothing new either. It's the reason why you have COs who are constantly patrolling the perimeters. You actually have people who do an outside grounds type walk too, to walk the perimeters of the fencing lines and stuff like that for the facility, to make sure that there's nothing like within a range that an inmate could just freely pick it up. So you have corrections officers who will do perimeter checks to see and make sure nothing's there. You have the rovers that constantly drive around to make sure that nobody's escaping the facility, but also nobody's probably trying to help a breakout either, and whatever other stuff they may be curious about doing. So with that being said, though, that's the issue you have with drones. So you may have some inmates who are inside the institution who have these burner phones, right? These burner phones were likely brought in by corrupted COs or civilians who work somewhere in the institution, whether it's mental health or whether it's within the chaplain area, or whether it's in food service or canteen or whatever it may be. Somehow that phone was brought in for those inmates to have it, and thanks to these people for bringing this type of contraband in to the facility, they are now endangering the lives of everybody in the whole institution now, because with the aiding of them helping these inmates get a hold of these phones are not monitored, unlike the phones that they would normally have to use, which they would use and have to pay to use them. These phones aren't recorded, so they can put out green lights on anybody they need to if they need to. Not only that, but if they need something brought into the facility, like a drone, fly over to drop a care package that may have more cell phones or maybe a battery or a charger because they need a charger for that cell phone they got, some drugs, whatever it may be. They can call their homie on the outside and let them know, look, I need you to bring the drone, fly it over, and leave it, have it drop this thing here at this spot of the prison. My dog out there, he's gonna be out there later, and he'll pick it up and he'll bring it in. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna send you some cash app it, whatever, blah blah blah. Deal's done, boom, bada bang. Homeboy come over somewhere within range that he can fly that drone and fly a drone over the institution. But that drone drops the care package for the inmate that needed it. Well, his homeboy hopefully is able to get to that care package before anybody else finds it. That being a corrections officer or somebody else, brings it back, and now it's in the institution. Now, the thing is that DOC, majority of them now should already be having access to the technology because it's there. It's already there. If they don't have it, that's failure on their end. But there is already technology out there that will allow them to detect drones flying over or flying even within a few range of it, and kill that drone when it gets at any distance that you want it to drop, like a bad habit. Okay, so I know of the technology, and if I know of it, DOC has to know this technology too. So it's not like they should try to say that it's annoying. It's not. It's something you set up and you leave it alone. Anytime a drone flies over, you would get notified, and probably in the control room or in the area of the facility, let you know that the drone just flew over, and it's literally got the identification of that drone too. Is a lot of these drones, they all broadcast data to them, to things that it's there. So anyways, with that being said, they would be notified that it was taken down. And then all they have to do is have somebody go get it, where it was taken down at. So, that being said, drones are a problem. It's just a matter of these institutions using technology that's freely available. Well, not freely, it comes to a cost. But at the end of the day, we have to determine, that's up to them to determine if they want to use that technology or not. That's available to them to use. So, I mean, we on the outside have the technology right now to kill the robot dogs, for that matter. You know what I mean? The robot police dogs that they have are no different. A lot of these things have a kill switch on them. You can kill a lot of it. It's a robot, runs on a frequency. It's not really that hard. Unless, you've got a more advanced technology that makes it a little bit harder to mess with them. I won't give you any more than that on that whole thing, but I will just say that it was discussed a while back when these things were coming up, that they had vulnerabilities and how they could be taken down, and they still likely do have them. That being said, though, that's it for this episode of Issues with Drones in the Department of Corrections. See you all in the next episode.